Right. So I am recording this because I know that some people either couldn't make it tonight or, work schedules, something happened. So, or, you forgot, which is totally normal. But good evening. My name is Carissa Legg. I'm the program coordinator for medical assisting at the Rockford campus for Rasmussen University. And what we're going to do tonight is just spend a little bit of time understanding the program and some of the requirements that are going to be needed within that first quarter. So that first clinical quarter that you're going to take on campus. And then what does that
You really froze up really,
turn
really
off my
bad.
camera? Oh no.
Yep,
Let
same.
me, okay. Better or worse?
I can hear you better now. Before, I didn't hear anything.
Okay. I apologize. I'm going to leave my camera off. I'm pretty sure that's part of the problem here. Um, So to start off with, what I want to do is give a little bit of an introduction about who's going to be on your team for the medical assisting program. So first and foremost, there is myself. That is a super old picture, and I probably should change that. But my name is Carissa Legg. I am the program coordinator. So really, what that means is I am the one that you will see throughout your entire program, start to finish. I teach all of the lab on-campus classes. I also set up your externships and kind of go through that process with you as well. I have actually been with the college now for 9 years. I started back in 2012 as a evening instructor when we taught evening classes, and then I went to a full-time instructor. And then in 2018, in December, I actually became the program coordinator, so that's the role I've been doing ever since. I do still work out in the community. I work for OSF, and currently I'm just working for like their prompt cares, but I've been with that company now for 12 years. So I'm pretty dedicated to the places that I've stayed. Also on your team is Kimberly Kroll, and I'll let Kimmy go ahead and introduce herself if you don't mind, Kimmy.
Yeah, no problem. I'll keep my camera off too because my internet it's a little bit crazy where I live. So, my name is Kimberly, but you can all call me Kimmy. Most of you have already heard from me too. Throughout the either your first quarter, your second quarter, or your mid start, you've all heard from me. Throughout this process. I'm really kind of like your lifeline when you're here in classes. Besides Corey, we work as a team. Whenever you have any questions about your schedule or if you're having trouble, in any of your classes, I can refer different resources. But definitely don't hesitate to reach out. So either if you're more comfortable emailing, that's cool. If you're more comfortable calling, you can call me anytime. I work every day. Monday's typically my late days, so I either work until 6 or till 8 on Mondays too. So definitely feel free to get in touch with me anytime.
Awesome. And at the end of the presentation, I will have both my email, Kimmy's email, and then our two direct phone lines to the Rockford campus. So you'll have all of that information at the end of the presentation. So one of the first things I like to do is kind of explain, what is a medical assistant? And a lot of you, probably got into this for one reason or another. Maybe you've had family members who have been medical assistants, or you started it, the nursing program and went, ooh, this is not for me. Maybe I want to take a step back. So I really want to just kind of give you a little bit of what is a medical assistant. And there's a short video that we have here from one of our Rockford, but with one.
You're kind of cutting in and out on my end, Corey. I don't know how it is for you, Amanda.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not loading. There it goes.
Okay.
Basically, and if you've ever, and you'll hear me say this a lot, it's a jack of all trades. You really have a lot of hats that you're wearing at any one time, and it's learning how to manage those different hats and know which hat should be worn at which time. So, what we try to do in the medical assisting program is we do start you off at sort of that base level of getting an understanding of the basics. And as we progress through the program, we build on those characteristics that really make a professional medical assistant. We're going to be doing a lot of hands on skills and learning a lot of the different tips and tricks that I've gained over my almost 20 years in the field. Learning how to do a lot of that, and giving what I have for you guys to learn and grow on. So what does it kind of look like on campus? So this is the current medical assisting lab that we do have, and I'm going to go to social distancing.
You're breaking up really bad on my end.
Yep, mine too.
I'm sorry. All right, guys, is that better or worse?
I hear you better.
Oh, good. I switched
Yep,
internet.
I do
Or
too.
okay. I heard what happened. My husband decided to get online, so shame on him. Um, so currently, this is what our lab looks like on the third floor of the Rasmussen building. However, due to COVID reasons, we had to move to the fourth floor. It just allows us some more space. It allows us to more socially distance. And I'm really trying to get us to stay on the fourth floor because, as you'll see in this video, this room is very small and there's a lot of students, and it's difficult sometimes to get us all in this little room and do it safely. So here is a example of what the lab looks like on campus. So I'm sure watching that and looking at that, there are a couple of things that you saw, and it never fails. The first thing people see is going to be those fake arms, and they panic. They're like, "Oh Lord, we're really doing this." And so I want to kind of heed a warning and say, yes, we're drawing on one another and we're practicing on one another, but it's done in a very safe environment, and I'm watching hands-on, one-on-one, but we're not going to like just week one throw you right into that. So we're going to build on your confidence to get to that point where we can do that. So now that you've kind of seen all of that, what does the program really consist of? And if you've talked to Kimmy or you've talked to another admissions person, you have understood like what is kind of to happen. But I want to go a little bit more in depth with that. So the main part of our program does consist of what we call 3 clinical classes. And the clinical classes are made up of a lab and a lecture. The lab class is strictly on campus, and we will meet a specific day of the week for a specific amount of time. So for this first intro class that you're coming into, it is going to be on Thursday mornings from 9 a.m. until 12:50. And we'll do that for the full 11 weeks. And then in the next quarter, we just move you up a day. So you go Thursday, Wednesday, and then Tuesday in that third clinical class. And the time of the class will stay the same. It's just the day that's going to change. The first class that you're in will introduce you to some basic skills. So we're going to come in with knowledge of learning how to do things like medical law and ethics. We're going to talk about what laws apply to medical assistants. We're going to work on team building and learning how to work with a diverse group of individuals. We're going to learn how to do basic vital signs and what those vital signs are. We're also going to learn how to administer injections. And yes, that is to one another. What we administer is just sterile water, so it's not going to cause any harm to you or any of you that may be pregnant. It's not going to cause any problems that way either. We'll learn first how to do it on a dummy arm, and then we're going to just move right into doing it on real arms. I think it's better for you to learn on one another as opposed to trying to learn it on fruit, because the skin of a fruit doesn't feel like the skin of a human. So I don't practice that whole like, let's try it on an orange thing. It doesn't do you any justice. We're also going to learn basic phlebotomy. Again, like I said, we're going to start with those fake arms. And it's great at first, but they're really only used for hand-eye coordination. They're not super great for giving you a realistic persona of what a patient's going to do. We're also going to learn about things like HIPAA and the Good Samaritan Act. So this is all what we're going to cover sort of in that base fundamentals class. And then from there, again, we'll kind of build and progress on that. So that's all going to be in the lab class. Your lecture class is going to run online. Now, I am not the instructor for the lecture class, and I always like to stress that because students always assume that I do both. I wish I could, but that's a lot of work. I only teach the lab classes. So when your classes load on July 5th, you're going to see one that says MEA 1350, and then you're going to see one that says MEA 1350L. The L stands for lab. That is the class that I teach. The other class, just the 1350, that's your lecture class. So that's where all your lecture content's going to be. But the lab and the lecture run coherently. So what you're learning in lecture, you'll bring into lab. And what we're doing in lab will help you with lecture assignments. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Amanda's shaking her head yes at me, so I know that it makes sense. If you are watching the recording and you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email. I am going to be on vacation over this next week, and I will have intermittent access to Wi-Fi, so I will answer emails as I'm able. If not, I will address them first thing when I get back on July 5th. So as you progress through the program, like I said, the day that you meet will change, but not the time. So we'll go from Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Wednesday to Tuesday. In the externship, that's going to be that final clinical course. So that's going to be essentially fourth quarter. You do not meet with me on campus. You are going to be at a clinic somewhere in the Rockford area. Or if you don't live in the Rockford area, I do try to find some near your hometown so there isn't that long drive. 1 day a week driving in, not so bad. 5 days a week driving in, pretty terrible. Your externship most likely will be a Monday through Friday situation. Most likely it will be 8 to 5. You can work up to 40 hours a week at your clinical site, but you can't work past 40 hours. And I know there's going to be a lot of questions about externship, specifically because students, if you're working or you have kids, small kids at home, you're trying to already plan that in your head. Know that we're going to continue to talk about externship throughout your entire program. So don't feel like you have to bring all of those questions to like the first week of class. As they come up, you can ask them. You will have to complete 180 hours at a clinical site, and I will work with you to try to get you into a site that you want to be at. But it's good to keep in the back of your mind that you cannot do your externship where you currently work. So for example, I work for OSF. I could not do my externship at OSF. And the reason that we say that is because we cannot say that your paycheck that you would receive would not be coming from an externship experience. This is an unpaid 180 hours. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. So I've already gotten a couple questions, but I'm going to talk about these a little bit more. What do I need for the lab class? Well, first and foremost, you need to have scrubs. And so the scrubs, you can purchase one of two ways. You can purchase them through a site called Sweet Styles, and that email should have been sent to your student email. The problem with ordering through Sweet Styles, in my opinion, is they are a one size fits all. Now, I don't know about you, but one size does not always fit all. And they're really made more sort of unisex, so they're kind of boxier. That's my opinion. If you are comfortable in them, you do you. The other place that you can go is Scrubs and Beyond. That is here in the Rockford area. It's actually in front of the Target on East State Street. And we have a contract with them or an agreement with them to have students order their scrubs. They do have to be the wine color that you see here in the picture. And I know it's a little hard to see, but in the top of the scrub top, there is a logo. When you are going to Scrubs and Beyond and you go to checkout, you will need to tell them that you are a Rasmussen College health science student. They will know what that means and they will put the logo on for you. If you were ordering through Sweet Styles, then it's an automatic thing. They already put that on there. What I like about going through Scrubs and Beyond is that you can try on the scrubs. You can buy whatever ones that you are super comfortable in, as long as they are that wine or maroon color. That's what we're looking for. Now, do you have to have them the first day of classes? No. I know that some of you are going to watch this video right before classes start and you're going to panic because, oh my gosh, I don't have my scrubs. I'm not going to be able to go to class. Not the case. You can absolutely attend class. The first few weeks, I give a little bit of leniency with scrubs. And then my hope is that by week 3 or week 4, you actually have the scrubs. So that's the first thing that you're going to need. The second thing you're going to need is you're going to need a good pair of tennis shoes. And yes, I mean tennis shoes. I don't mean Crocs. Crocs are not good for what we're going to be doing. And the reason I say that is because the holes that are built into Crocs could potentially cause an accidental needle stick if you actually accidentally drop something. So I'd rather you have a shoe that covers the entirety of your foot, both the top and the bottom. Do the shoes have to be white? No. You can wear whatever tennis shoes you want as long as they have a non-skid bottom. That's the piece I'm really looking for. Labs can get not always, can get messy. So I don't want you to slip and slide on something and injure yourself while you're on campus with me. We are in the summer months. So a lot of you are going to be like, oh, my feet are hot. I want to wear flip-flops. Listen, I get it. Me too. But when you're on campus for those 4 hours, you've got to wear the tennis shoes. If you want to change into flip-flops when you leave, or you want to bring your tennis shoes and change when you get to class, you do you. But as long as you're wearing the tennis shoes while we're in class, that's what I'm looking for. As you progress through the quarter, things like, we're heading into the winter months, you can't wear boots, same process. We want to make sure that you have a non-skid flat bottom, nothing that's going to be wet or get us hurt. You want to have a complete uniform look, so that includes your hair. And some of you are going to look at me like I'm 3 sheets of crazy, but your hair's got to be a natural color, okay? I know that everyone's an individual and you can do whatever you want with your life, but when you're on campus, I want you to keep that professional look. I want you to come to the lab like you're coming to your job. So your hair has to be a natural color. Yes, you can have highlights as long as the highlight is a natural color. And if your hair is longer than your shoulder length, you need to make sure at every lab class it is tied back. We deal with blood, bodily fluids, urine, feces, saliva. You got all that going on. You don't want your hair in that. Trust me, that's not a good time. So tie it back every class period. The one that always upsets students is this guy. You got to have your tattoos covered. I am in no way, shape, or form telling you you can't have tattoos. I have 10 of them. I love them, but I don't show them. Again, keeping that professional look. If they're on your arm, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a sleeve.
So a
So,
couple of things that you can do. You can get a lab coat and wear that over it. Wear a
okay.
long sleeve shirt. And then they also make like just an arm sleeve cover, kind of like what
Yeah, I've
baseball
seen those.
players would wear.
Okay.
Yep, perfectly fine. As long as it can be covered, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I've seen students who have had some on their face. Those are a little bit harder to cover up. But if you've got a really good makeup or even a bandage to cover that up. The other thing with that is we want to make sure that we're also removing any facial piercings or jewelry, or putting in a clear stud. So if you've got your nose pierced, right now I can't see it anyway because you'll have to wear a mask. But like eyebrow piercings, those would either have to come out or put in a clear stud. Again, just keeping that professional look. It looks a little scary when the person coming to like medically take care of you looks like they're coming to beat you up. Not that I'm saying facial piercings do that, but people have that opinion. We also have to have short trimmed nails that are unpainted. So I know that that's going to cause some issues because everybody likes to get their nails done in the summer and look cute. But it's not about looking cute, it's about being professional. So if you were to hold up your hand with the palm facing you, you should not see the whites of any of your fingertips. If you do, they are too long, and you'll have to make sure that you just trim them before class. I hold myself to these same standards. So currently my nails are painted, but come, when we meet July 7th, my nail 8th, July 8th, my nails will be unpainted. So I keep the same standards that I hold you guys to. The other thing with your uniform look that I want is I do want you to keep in mind that you don't want to wear any heavy perfumes or colognes. I have really bad asthma, so those things will trigger me. So please, if you're going to wear it, then that's fine, but just don't do like old lady at church and just bathe yourself in it. The other thing that really kind of aggravates not mine, but other students is asthma or allergies would be cigarette smoke. If you are a smoker, first and foremost, I'm going to ask you to refrain from trying to smoke in your uniform. If you absolutely cannot do that, please make sure that you have like a Febreze or something that you can kind of spray yourself with before you come onto campus. All right. The last couple of things that you'll need for the lab class is going to be a laptop, a tablet, some sort of device that you could use for in-class activities. We're going to be doing a lot of team building and team exercises, and a lot of that comes as an in-class activity. So you want to make sure that you do have something with internet access, so that way you can do those. If you don't have anything like that, please let me know, and I can actually we have a couple of tablets on campus that I could loan you for the day, but I want to make sure that they're fully charged before I try to give them to you. With that, if you need to bring your charger, do so. We have plugins on campus for you to plug in if you need to charge your computer or tablet while you're going through an activity. Last couple of things are you're going to need a blood pressure cuff and a watch. Now, when you signed up for the program, you should have gotten an email where they were sending you a blood pressure cuff and a stethoscope. You should receive that kit, I want to say, in the mail. Kimmy, can you confirm that for me? They get it via their home address?
Yep. So whatever address is listed when you confirm your schedule. So any of those materials, when you go to confirm your schedule, you'll just want to make sure that you select in the address section. There'll be like a little icon that looks like a house. Just make sure that that's selected and not the school. I mean, if you get to the school, we're still going to get it to you, but it'll be more convenient if it goes to your house.
Awesome. Thank you. Now if you get your blood pressure cuff and you're like, I don't like this one, I hate this color, whatever it is, you can go and purchase your own, right? We're not saying that you have to use the one that we give you. If you're not comfortable with it, it works perfectly fine. But if you're one of those people that you're like, no, I want my own, I want it to be this color, Amazon has great ones, or I even know that Scrub and Beyond sells them. So Just make sure that you do have a blood pressure cuff and a stethoscope. You also need a watch. And I'm not super picky. It could be a $5 watch from Walmart as long as it has a seconds hand or the seconds option if it's a digital watch. We're going to need that when we start doing vital signs, and we do that pretty quickly in the quarter. So you want to make sure that you do have that with you really day one, because that's going to get you just prepared, excuse me, and getting you into that motion of wearing a watch, especially if you're not used to wearing a watch. Starting at day one, it's going to break that habit of not wanting to wear one. So that's kind of that's it. That's what I've got for you. It's not much, but it's hopefully answered some questions that maybe were burning in the back of your brain. Amanda, you're on here. So do you have any questions? I know that you had asked me the scrubs one before we started. So hopefully that was addressed.
Yes.
But do you have any other questions?
I just had one in my head and it totally slipped right out. Okay, I have the Apple Watch and it has the second hands and everything. Is that okay to use?
Absolutely. I have a Fitbit that has seconds hands on it, and I wear that religiously. So either one is
so
fine.
do I. That's why I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Apple
and
Watches
then
are great.
yes, they are. Also, you said for IDs, we'll take care of that once we get started then.
Yeah, so what I try to do, and it sounds bad, but I actually wait until quarter two, because then I
Okay.
wait to see who's really like dedicated to the program before we just start making everybody an ID. And I know that sounds bad, but I just want to make sure you're in for the long haul. And then we'll do that on campus.
Yeah, I understand. I tried surgical tech and in fundamentals that it wasn't me.
Yeah. See?
So I get it.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure because, like I said, I got a little worried when I got that email. But other than that, we just meet on the 4th floor, July 8th at 9, and
Yes.
of course, we
Yep.
start on the 5th.
Yes.
Yeah,
Course is open. Oh, go ahead, Kimmy. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yep, course is open on the 5th. I'll send out an email probably on Friday too, just reminding you that those courses will open on the 5th too, Amanda.
Okay.
When you get off the elevator on the 4th floor, you'll just take a left and then another left, and we'll probably have some signs out too. We usually do like week 1. I try to.
Yep, I try to have some colorful signs out because it's not our normal classroom, and I believe that your schedule even says that it's in room 300, but that's not where we're going to be. We'll be in room 405, which is on the 4th floor.
All right. And then I might have missed it. Are we wearing masks on campus?
We are.
We are. Yep, we still are currently wearing those. At this time, we have not stopped that process, partly because a lot of our policies do come from our main campus, and our main campus is in Minnesota. So we have to kind of follow their regulations as well. Even though Illinois is opened up, we are still, even if you're fully vaccinated, asking that you wear a mask that covers your nose and your mouth at all times on the campus.
Okay.
And then anybody who's going to be on campus will need to have that COVID waiver filled out too. So I'll check with our campus director, Corey, too, just to see if there's anybody in your program that still needs to get it signed.
Perfect.
And then also if you just make sure that you monitor, there will be like a symptom checklist too. And that if you have any of those symptoms that we ask that you stay home.
Okay.
Yep. And that should have come with the COVID waiver.
Yep.
And so we'll check with our campus director, Craig Steege, to see if that did in fact get sent out.
Okay.
I think we're going to add to another sign that has a QR code that you can scan on the first day that'll take you to that symptom checklist too. That's like a new addition, Corey.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, any other questions for us, Amanda?
Nope, that's it. You guys covered everything that I was curious about, and anything else, I'll wait and ask in class or send an email.
Absolutely, yeah. Never be afraid to email myself or Kimmy. We are, except for vacation week, we are always available. So this next week will just be kind of hit or miss, but outside of that, I typically respond within 24 hours is what I tell students. So never be afraid to either give me a call or give me an email. I'm always available.
All right, sounds good.
I'll be in the office next week, Monday through Thursday. So feel
Okay.
free to give me a call or send me an email anytime.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you are watching the recording and you have any questions, don't hesitate to, like I said to Amanda, don't hesitate to email or call myself or Kimmy. We are always here to help. And thank you for attending tonight.
All right, thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.